The Chainsaw Man Reze arc movie is, without a doubt, the best anime movie I've seen in a very long time. Simply because it's not filler, it's not recap, it's not a much longer story that's awkwardly chopped up into one or more movies, and it's not a bunch of shorter stories such as regular TV episodes being lazily strung together and put into theaters to make an extra buck or two. It's just one complete story arc that from start to finish lasts about 1.5 to 2 hours. You do that, you're better than 90% of the anime movies out there already. So, great movie, and since I liked it so much, double plus good, of course I'm going to focus on the one thing that I really did not like about it, and that was something that happened during the pool scene. Here we have a scene that really could have been the best scene in the movie, but instead of focusing on the characters, instead of focusing on the pool environment, they just take you away from that every so often and show you a spider trapping a butterfly in its web. These are the kinds of low-hanging metaphors that we all as a society should have agreed to leave behind back in high school. But nope, they always throw this into everything. Movies, TV shows, books, you name it, it has garbage filler metaphors. First of all, it's just a bad overplayed metaphor. Have you ever seen a metaphor overused more than the spider web in anime in particular? Like Moths to a Flame, it's got nothing on the spider web. The high jump has nothing on the spider web. You see nothing overplayed as much as this. And for what? To show us that, okay, we have two characters in this scene, we have two insects on the spider web, I wonder who is who. Oh my god, this is deep. And of course, I'm sure there are the English teacher types out there who are going to say, well actually, at first glance, you're going to think that the spider is Reze and Denji is the insect that's being trapped. But actually, isn't it Reze who's really being trapped? Yeah, that's just even more annoying. So, garbage metaphor, and it's not particularly deep. It also fails at being foreshadowing. With flashbacks, for example, and of course flashbacks are pretty much always bad, but especially you don't want to flash back to something that just happened a few minutes ago, right? Well, you don't want to do the opposite with foreshadowing either. You don't want to foreshadow something that's going to be confirmed a few minutes later, and that's exactly what happens. You think, okay, you have a spider trapping someone here, someone's laying a trap here, probably Reze, right? Well, a few minutes later, you have this fight on the rooftop where Reze is revealed to be trapping Denji. She's setting something up for Denji. So, garbage foreshadowing too. And it's not like this is subtly planting something in our heads that we never would have expected. Simply from the title, the Reze arc movie, every single person sitting in that movie theater is already suspicious of this girl. We're thinking, okay, Reze arc movie, why is it called that? Maybe it's because this girl, Reze, is really only relevant for one arc. Okay, why could that possibly be? Maybe she's a short-term love interest, maybe she is an enemy, and of course there are other possible explanations, but these are the two things that really come to the top of your list of suspicions, right? And then, early on in the movie, we see this girl, like this pretty girl coming in out of nowhere, and throwing herself all over our socially inept hero Denji. And you're thinking, okay, this has got to be a trap, right? Red flags should be flying up right now, especially if you're a man, right? If you're a man, you're watching this and thinking, okay, if a girl's just throwing herself all over you for no reason, there's probably a reason. So, yeah, just terrible foreshadowing too. And completely pointless. So, whenever something bad happens, you gotta wonder, who am I supposed to blame for this? Is it the movie? Is it the manga? Is it something else? So I actually took a look back and I looked at the manga because I thought maybe there was just one panel in the manga that had this spider web and the movie may have overdone it, or maybe the movie just threw this in there for no reason even though it wasn't in the manga, or maybe the movie was perhaps just adapting the manga quite directly and you can't blame the movie at all. Well, it turns out it was the case of the manga not having any spider whatsoever and everything being thrown in for the sake of the adaptation. Okay, I've had traumatic experiences in high school English classes. I hate metaphors, I hate foreshadowing, I hate all this stuff. But even if you're someone who loves these literary devices, you gotta admit that throwing this in, not from the source material, but just for the adaptation, it's just an extra layer of bad. And even if you do like these literary devices in general, you like this kind of analysis, what is the point of this scene? The point of the scene is just to have these two characters, Denji and Reze, being young, being in love, especially looking at the scene through Denji's viewpoint. He's forgetting about everything else in the world. He's forgetting about the other girls he likes. He's forgetting about all the other enemies who he knows are coming after him. He's just there with Reze, enjoying the moment, being young and in love, and experiencing something he never experienced in his life. That's what this scene is supposed to be about. It's, I mean, to use a bad metaphor for myself, it's the calm before the storm. It's a scene that, yeah, we know that everything after this is going to go to shit. But at least in this moment, everyone's happy, everyone's having a great time, and we can just enjoy this kind of atmosphere. Remember what it's like for ourselves to be young and in love if we're older like myself. And if you're a younger person, you're like, oh, this is the kind of love scene I wish I had in my life. But instead, we're taken out of that atmosphere and we're shown, hey, it's a trap, it's a trap, it's a trap, just repeatedly banged over the head with these terrible, terrible metaphors. Just stop doing this. Otherwise, it was a great movie. You know, great music, great fight scenes, although I do have some complaints towards the end, the fight scenes being perhaps a little too colorful and not having enough substance to them, but without this, great movie with no complaints, really. But with these garbage metaphors, yeah, metaphors are trash. One more thing I want to add on, a little karaoke rant. So, past 2 weeks I've actually been to karaoke twice, and each time I used a different machine. In Japan there are two main karaoke machine companies. There's one called Joy Sound and one called Damn. I've heard that people prefer Joy Sound for anime songs, but I've used both over the years, and until now I've been perfectly satisfied with Damn as well. That was until now, right? So I went to karaoke twice. First time I used the Joy Sound machine, and I wanted to sing the song Iris Out, which is the opening theme from the Reze arc movie. So I put in the song, and I see that there's a little mark next to it saying there's going to be an anime music video playing in the background. I think, yes, because, you know, if you're doing karaoke and you're doing an anime song, you want to see an anime music video in the background if possible. Usually they don't give you one. They'll just give you generic footage of, like, a woman sitting in a meadow, or footage of people walking around downtown Nashville, something that has nothing to do with the anime or the song whatsoever. So if you get an anime song, it's extra fun to sing it with the anime playing in the background, or at least something like the official music video. So here I see that mark and I think, okay, they probably just lifted the beginning of the movie out and put it straight into the karaoke machine, because the beginning of the Reze arc movie has that sort of built-in music video playing along with Iris Out. But no, they didn't do that here. They actually put together a whole new anime music video cut up with scenes from throughout the movie. You saw some action scenes, comedy scenes, love scenes, erotic scenes, a little bit of everything. It was fabulous. I must have sung the song about 4 times in one session. Great. Then I went back about 2 weeks later and went to a room with a Damn machine. And once again, we just got people walking around Nashville or Tokyo or wherever, a completely irrelevant music video, and that just sucked the fun right out of it. So if you're going to sing this song, do it on a Joy Sound machine. Damn, I don't know if I can ever trust him again. One more update. It has come to my attention that the Joy Sound music video is actually an official music video that currently has over 170 million views on YouTube. So I guess I gotta take away a little bit of credit from Joy Sound, but at the same time I gotta take even more credit away from Damn, because they couldn't get the movie version, they couldn't get the official music video version, they're doing absolutely nothing. So always go with Joy Sound.